were the smart one, the one who understood things faster, who didn't need to try as hard, and somewhere along the way, that became your identity. But now, when things get hard, when you actually have to struggle, something inside you shuts down. You'd rather quit than be seen as ordinary. What happened? You avoid things you're not immediately good at. You procrastinate on projects that matter, not because you're lazy, but because trying and failing feels like losing yourself. Your intelligence became your worth. So when you hit a wall, it's not just frustration, it's existential. If you're not smart, then who are you? Psychologist Carol Dweck calls this a fixed mindset. You learn to see intelligence as a trait you have, not a capacity you build. And here's the trap. Being praised for being smart teaches your brain to avoid risk, because risk means possible failure, and failure means you might not be who you thought you were. So you stay in your lane, you overthink, you perfectionism yourself into paralysis, and quietly your potential shrinks. But you're not broken, you're just running outdated software. Your brain learned a survival strategy early on, when being smart earned you love, safety, attention. Your neuroscience encoded it. This is how I stay valuable. Neuroscience shows that our identities are reinforced through dopamine pathways. Every time being smart brought reward, your brain wired that in deeper. Now, anything that threatens that identity triggers a stress response. Your amygdala treats struggle like danger, not because you're weak, but because your brain is doing exactly what it learned to do: protect the identity that kept you safe. Let's talk about what's actually happening inside. There's a concept in psychology called ego depletion, but think of it differently. Think of your sense of self like a tightrope. When your identity is narrow, just the smart one, that rope is thin. Every challenge, every mistake, every moment you don't have the answer, you wobble, and your brain interprets that wobble as a threat to your survival. So it activates what's called the threat response system. Your prefrontal cortex, the part that thinks clearly, goes offline. Your limbic system takes over. Fight, flight, or freeze. For you, it's usually freeze or quit before anyone notices you're struggling. This is why smart people often underachieve, not because they lack ability, but because their identity can't stretch wide enough to include failure, and growth requires failure. So how do you rewire this? Not with motivation, with psychology. Separate identity from outcome. Your worth is not your performance. Start practicing what psychologists call self-distancing. When you fail, say, I tried something and it didn't work, not I failed because I'm not good enough. This small shift activates your prefrontal cortex. It turns a threat into information. Reframe struggle as signal. When something is hard, your brain says danger. But neuroplasticity research shows the opposite. Struggle means your brain is building new pathways. Start saying, this is hard because I'm learning, not this is hard because I'm not smart enough. That single sentence changes the meaning your brain assigns. Build identity with. Right now, you're the smart one. That's it. One pillar. When it shakes, everything shakes. Add more. Not accomplishments, values. I'm someone who stays curious. I'm someone who tries things badly at first. I'm someone who doesn't quit on myself. These aren't affirmations, they're identity anchors. And the more you have, the safer your nervous system feels. Practice micro failures deliberately. Your brain needs evidence that failure isn't fatal, so give it evidence. Try something small you'll probably fail at. A new recipe, a language app, a cold email. Let yourself be bad, not to build confidence, but to teach your amygdala, we survived that. Over time, failure stops feeling like identity death. It starts feeling like Tuesday. Protect the process, not the outcome. Stop asking, am I good at this? Start asking, am I showing up? Behavioral psychology shows that process goals reduce anxiety and increase follow-through because you control the process. You don't control the outcome. Your only job is to keep walking. Here's the mental model that ties it all together. Think of your identity like a river. Right now, it's narrow, fast, deep, one channel. When something blocks that channel, the whole river stops. But rivers aren't supposed to be narrow. They're supposed to spread, to have tributaries, branches, overflow zones. So when one path is blocked, the water finds another way. That's what you're building. Not a better version of the smart one, but a wider identity. One that can hold complexity, struggle, growth, and stillness. You were never just smart. You were adaptable, curious, resilient enough to survive by learning fast. And now you're learning something harder, that you don't have to perform to be valuable. That struggle isn't proof you're ordinary. It's proof you're growing. The smartest thing you can do now is let go of being the smart one and become someone who isn't afraid to not know.
That's where everything begins. Subscribe if you want to understand people and yourself at a deeper level.